Okay, in this video, we're going to take you through what to do to prepare for the mock exams that are coming up. They will start in December and they will go on into January once we come back after the Christmas break. So, to help with this, the winter mocks, please take them seriously. They are a real opportunity for you to put into practice your preparation for exams and use that as an experience to learn from to help you get ready for the main exams in the summer, which obviously be very important to you for you to be successful. So preparing to plan and having a timetable and things we're going to talk about in this video to do that are going to be absolutely crucial steps in that. There's still, as we mentioned, 6 months left before the real exams, so there's plenty of time there to make a difference to your preparation, so you are getting ready for those exams in the summer. Things to do. So to help you prepare, talk to your teachers, ask your teachers what resources they have, check if you're doing tiered papers, which tier you're doing, get revision material, past paper questions, any of those kind of things you need to support your preparation. You will need a black pen to complete the exam, so please make sure you have plenty of those, and any other specialist equipment you need. I'm thinking of a calculator definitely for some of the maths ones and the science exams. Please make sure you've got all those bits of kit in school with you. You'll have been given a timetable. If you've not already done so, it'll be on its way to you. Please share that with your family. Go through it with them, check it, make sure everyone understands the dates of your exams, which exams are taking place when and where they're taking place. My advice is to put it somewhere central in your house, often the fridge. Everybody can see it, everyone can be working towards your preparation for those exams. The exams this year, we're hoping that all exams will take place in the main hall for the majority of students. We've got to do some logistics to make that work, but that is our aim. There's some students who have support who would normally do their exams in other locations, and we will do that for those students so they get used to working in different spaces. If that is the case, if you do have extra support, or you might use a reader pen or a laptop, then you should have been in touch with either Mrs. Gilbert, our exams officer, or Mrs. Hayes upstairs, just to make sure that's in place and you know exactly what it is you need to be doing. In terms of revision and what really works, we know, we've seen this many times before, this is the curve of forgetting. And we know if I just tap on this a minute, let's see if it will work for me. We know that when we learn something, our memory of that information becomes very strong, but over time, we actually start to forget. And if we don't go back to that learning, we will continue to forget until it becomes really hard to recall that information. But we can prevent that from happening. We can review the learning. That takes our memory of it back up to 100%. And again, over time, we will lose or forget the information, but we can bring ourselves back. So the more time we review learning, you can see here the gap or the length of time it takes for us to forget things increases. So it takes longer for us to forget, which is absolutely brilliant. That's what we want to do. We want that information to be stored in our long-term memory so we don't lose the information. Our long-term memory is crucial to our learning. It has an unlimited capacity. It can store unlimited amounts of information. Our short-term memory can maybe process 3, 4, 5 different bits of information. After that, it will not function as well. So for you to perform your best in the exams, we have to have the information in our long-term memory. So how do we do that? How do we get information into our long-term memory? Well, we know of effective strategies that are proven scientifically to work, cognitive strategies that are absolutely crucial. Some of these I'm going to go through with you now just to help you so you can implement these as part of your revision process. So the first one is this idea of short-term memory. We talked about short-term memory as very, very limited capacity, and it can only process very basic facts. It can't deal with complex, complicated things. So we want to get our minds to work well for us in the exams. We have to develop our long-term memory. So to do that, the best ways of doing it is to spread the learning over a number of days rather than a nice little short condensed periods. Short condensed periods means we cram it. Cramming is not a good way to develop our long-term memory of information. So spread the learning out, as this little bar chart here shows you, rather than have it all as one block. This spreading it out helps our memories to work better. Your sessions that you do should be little short sessions. And before you get into one, take the time to review the work you did maybe yesterday or the day before, or the week before, to go back over that kind of information, to keep that information fresh and keep that retrieval of that information working for you. So the interleaving, the kind of movement between topics, you've got to be careful here, because what you don't want to do is move too quickly, because that won't help you to learn. So if you're doing different topics, you might mix the topics up, make your mind work as it moves between them. And forcing your mind to work that way again helps your long-term memory. That go back over those ideas to strengthen the memory of them is really important as well. And the other key thing is, as you go through these different topics, so here it's A, C, and B, making links between the topics again helps to store the information in your long-term memory. So elaboration is illustrated in these two photographs here. So to be elaborate means we're going to add details. Here's quite a plain gate. Here we've got an elaborate gate with far more detail in. So elaboration is literally adding detail to your work. So to do this, you might ask yourself questions: why things happen, what's going on. Add detail that helps you to understand the answers to those questions. And to get the answers, you could find that in your workbooks, your class information. You can find it on YouTube channels that your teachers are guiding you towards, to give that detail, that elaboration you need. And the key thing is, can you explain the key ideas, the key concepts that help understand the topic, but also link topics to other topics as well? Part of that is using good examples to support your learning. And by good example, we mean a concrete example. So the image on the left of the screen is a church. It's actually a church, one of the churches we visit in Iceland, and we can see that's what that building is. On the right-hand side, we've got a piece of artwork that is actually a representation of the meaning of music done by an artist. It's really hard to understand what that artwork is about. It's not a concrete example, it's a very abstract idea. So we need to focus our minds working on the concrete things to help us understand some difficult concepts. One example I had for this was the Haber process. Haber process says that a reaction at equilibrium will oppose any change imposed on it. It's quite a difficult, abstract idea. We talk in my lessons about teenagers' law, and teenagers' law says that whatever we ask it to do, it will do the opposite. And that makes it a far more concrete idea rather than an abstract idea. Other things that can help is the idea of dual coding. All this means in real terms is using pictures and words in your notes to help when you are doing your revision. So if you're going to make a set of revision notes, you might, as you can see here, we've got a picture all nicely labelled up with key bits of information. This allows us to store more information and process more information than if that was all just written out. That would be quite hard and quite challenging to do. Here's a slightly different example. This is looking at World War One, and this person's gone through a series of steps, and you can see how they've just illustrated some of these, added some details, little short steps, little bullet points, to make it quite a visual and words working together to this. And here's another good example showing the combination of pictures and words to help us just store the information, process the information, and helps our memory work with that. The other thing your teacher will have spoken to you about is the idea of retrieval practice, and this is where we're pulling information back, and it really helps our memory to store information. And this is that repetition. You've got to keep going over stuff and reviewing stuff and learning stuff to make sure that you can remember the information you need to do. Useful ways of doing this: you can have a blank sheet of paper and write all the information you know about a topic, and then get your notes out and check, does it match? What gaps have I got? Can I fill the gaps in using my notes? And then you start to reduce those gaps in your learning. And that retrieval of that work, that reviewing of that work, going back over that work is absolutely crucial on that. Check your learning against the class list. Have you covered all the bits you need to do? Which bits do you need to go back over? Are the bits historically which you need to review and change? And for me, one of the things that I've talked about in previous years is the idea of, this is what we know, this is the stuff we know, this is where we're comfortable, but sometimes to do well, we have to go out and learn the other stuff. We have to go out of our comfort zone and learn the other stuff. So focus on the gaps means go off what are the bits we don't know, what bits do we need to check our understanding of. So what does it look like? Well, here's an example of a piece of work that was done in geography. And what hopefully you can see here is this person's got a fact, core knowledge about the river valley, and the shapes and the features of those. And then we've added detail to that. We've added detail to why these shapes happen. And then they've asked themselves some questions. Why is this the case? And what is causing this to happen? So this then means they've gone off and done more research. This is questioning the whys to get that information in. And then to help themselves, they give themselves a nice concrete example of this. And you can see the way they've done this is linking in the idea of geocoding. So they've got pictures and words and label diagrams coming together to help their memory store that information. So that's what revision should look. Revision is not just sitting reading your books. It's writing things out. It is making little summaries of information like this. It's going back over your learning. It's working hard. You have to work hard when you are revising. So what you're gonna get to help you with all this, we'll give you a revision template you can plan your revision timetable on. One of these is an example, like you can see here, just to illustrate what it should look like. And you can see what's really important is, yes, there's revision going on, but within this, we're still finding time to eat. We're still finding time to do things we want to do to give ourselves a break. Off in sports practice here, we're going to take the dog for a walk. We're going to go for a run, spend time with family and friends. They're really important things. We don't want to lose those things, but what we have to do is build in the opportunity to do revision around it. Notice again, little short sessions, not hours and hours at a time. Short sessions done frequently are going to have the biggest impact on the way you need to learn. So your exam timetable will look like this. The way this is going to work for you, you can see here you've got the date, and then you've got the periods in that day, and then within this are the subjects that are taking place. On option days, if you have an exam, for example, here's a geography exam, only the students that do geography in that session will have their exam. If you have geography at a different point in time, your exam could be on a different day or a different session. As you can see here, there's another geography exam in the afternoon. So please look for your class code. If you're unsure, talk to your subject teacher and they'll be able to tell you exactly when your lesson is and when that's taking place. Okay? We've then got this starts before Christmas. We've then got a week where we have no exams taking place because that week there's lots of Christmassy based things going in school, and that gives us a chance to do many of those activities. And then when we come back after the Christmas holiday, we start the exams again and give ourselves another run, kind of a week and a half exams after Christmas as well. Within this, there are 2 external exams. If you do health and social or you do BTEC music, then you've got 2 exams there that are external exams. The dates are set there by the exam board. What's really important on those dates is you're in school, because we cannot retake those exams at any other point in the January. It would have to be done in the summer, which is not ideal for students. You'll get a copy of this timetable. If you are doing music BTEC or CAMNAT Health and Social, you will also be given a separate timetable for those exams because they are done, as we said, they are the external exams, and we need to make sure that's clear in our communication with you. So what do we need to think about? We talked about hard work. People talk about exams and they talk about pressure and they talk about stress. Stress and pressure in controlled amounts help us to perform well. They are good ways to help us really focus and perform well. Where it becomes a problem is where they become too much. And I know from talking to students, the best way to remove those high levels of stress and pressure is by doing the work, by giving yourself the confidence that you have worked hard, you have prepared to do your best, and you're going into the exam feeling confident. So confidence comes from hard work, and hard work is going to equal to success. And that's basically the key thing here. We need to work hard to do well. And that leads us into our final quote, which you have seen before from me. It's a quote from John Wooden, and he talks about the fact that everybody can be successful, because success is the peace of mind in knowing that you did the best you can to be the best you can be. and we're all capable of doing our best. And if we've done our best, that's all anyone can ask from us. We can be happy in that knowledge. So good luck with your revision preparation. If you have any questions at all, please talk to your subject teachers, and we'll then be able to guide and support you with any further information that you need. And please, please, please take these seriously. Treat them as a real thing and give yourself a good opportunity to practice your preparation for the exams.